what for guns, and welcome back to Build with the Boys. I'm Scott, and this is our weekly catch-up where we're just talking about everything we've been up to this week and what we got planned for next week as well. Along with any news that we have. Good news, if you haven't subscribed to certain fan home models, but you want to. So fan home are at the gates early with their Black Friday sale. And their Black Friday sale is bloody impressive. I've got to be honest, it's like Cyber Week, they're calling it. But you can get a massive discount on your entire subscription, not one or two issues, the whole thing. So if you have been toying with the idea of doing the Gauntlet, for example, the Gauntlet's got 20% off the entire subscription. Now, that's not to be sniffed at because you're looking at around about 240 quid saving right there. You can get a 20% discount on the Star Wars helmet collections. If that's something you had your eye on, you get 20% off that. That's the entire sub, not one or two. That's bloody impressive. There is 10% off the Dodge Charger. There's 10% off the Fast and Furious cars collection. There's, I want to say, 20% off of the Eleanor. Seriously, if you've been sort of sitting on the fence about getting one, now is very much the time, because these are not small discounts. These are discounts worth hundreds of pounds. They really are, hundreds of dollars if you're one of our American viewers. Jump on it. You head over there now, you'll see what's going on. They've got their Cyber Week, and these are just their early offers, so who knows what else is to come. But seriously, if you've been looking at doing one of those, now is very much the time. 240 quid off that Gauntlet is not to be sniffed at. That's very, very nice. What have we been up to? So we've been up to quite a lot. We've done a lot of Disney Doll's House because I've got to catch up. And I'm pretty much there now. So I'm pretty much caught up to where I need to be because we've got more Disney Doll's House, which should be coming next week. So next weekend, not this weekend, coming next weekend, we should have more Disney Doll's House. I'm expecting Titanic to arrive around about this weekend. So I'm thinking Titanic's going to be this weekend. I might be wrong, but I think it shipped this Friday just gone, which would suggest it's going to be this week. It's when it normally turns up, Friday, Saturday. So we've got that, hopefully, to do. It's a bit of a weird one because we've got 4 issues in that one. But we've only got, there's one issue with Hull in it. But normally when you do a piece of Hull, you do the opposing piece of Hull. We're not doing that. Bit weird. But it's a nice kind of mix of things. So we've got a bit of decking, a bit of Hull. We've got some bulkheads to install. It's going to be nice. So it gives you a nice kind of mix around. And that's something a lesson that could be seriously learned from the people over at Hachette. Because something else we've got this week is the Batmobile tumbler. Now, as you might have noticed in my videos, I'm very upbeat and positive when it comes to models. I'm passionate about them, and I kind of want to portray that. I'm not one of those ones who every single one of my videos is just criticising everything that I build, because I don't think people enjoy that. Certainly not if you're buying one of these as well. You're not tuning in some guy going, "Oh, yeah, this sucks." It's like you're not going to watch it. But it's hard, right, at the moment. So the tumbler has been, let's face it, it's been a letdown. It has, right? So the first 12 minutes tumbler haven't been great. But I need you, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it, I need you all to get some perspective on this, because the parts that we have done up to this point, we were always going to do anyway. It is annoying that they've all come in one sort of run. So you've had nothing but 3 months of wires, right? That is annoying. I get it. If you're waiting for this to turn up and it turns up and you're done in 10 minutes, it's annoying. I understand that completely. I get it. I'm doing multiples. So when that turns up, like you say, it doesn't bother me. You know, I've got other hobby to do. Whereas if this was the only one you were building, I completely sympathise that turns up and you're like, man, is that it? I get it. I do get it. But the reality of it is you always had to do these parts. All right? You always had to do these parts. If these had been turning up scattered amongst the build, you wouldn't have been so bothered. You know, if you were building some steering column or something like that, or you're building part of the engine, then you did a wire and one of the, you wouldn't be bothered. It's just because they've all come in this one cluster. But at least they're now done. I mean, that's the positive of this one. At least they're now done. So it is annoying that it's just wires. But, I mean, I can tell you now, in 41, we're doing the steering rack. So the wires are over. Those videos will be on the channel very soon. The wires are done by the looks of things. And now we are moving on to more substance of the car. And it is it's weird that we're a year in to the tumbler because for subscribers, we've got one more delivery before the year's out, depending on Christmas postage. It's unlikely we'll see it this side of Christmas. We'll probably see it around about the 27th, 28th. So it's postage dependent, Christmas postage dependent. But it's weird that we're 1 year in and we don't have a chassis, a frame, or any engine for a vehicle. I've never known that. That is very, very odd, very unusual. But that said, I've never known a vehicle that 1 year in, you have the entirety of the electrics done and the cabin. That's, so it's just been done a different way. You would have always done these parts. It's just the way it is. So I've seen people saying they're cancelling because they're fleecing. No, I mean, I know you get the impression that I'm paying, $9.99, $10.99, $11.99 for this one part. You're not. That's not how this works. All they've done is they took the price of the model and spread it. That's it. So if you were happy with the main price, or you were happy with the bit, then you are happy with it. It's not always going to be the nature of part works. There are going to be parts where you just don't really do anything. I mean, there are parts in the gauntlet where you literally do nothing, right? You just get the part. Don't install it. Don't do anything. Here's a part. That's it. See you next week. That happens. It used to happen on the Routemaster when you get the figures. So I know that people that were building the Routemaster on its first run was really excited for what turned up. I mean, there were issues with that where here's a figure. That's it for this week. Here's one wheel. See you next week, everybody. It's the nature of this beast. That's the way it is. This is part works. You are going to have packs where there's very little to do. But by contrast, you are going to have packs that you're going to pull your hair out because there's so much to do. It's so involved, it's so in depth. You're like, man, and you're going to miss those days where, man, maybe I should have to plug some wires in. Now I'm doing all this. It happens. It's the way it is. So stick with it, man, because look, the reality of it is next year, we have to build a lot more. We have to. So by this time next year, we have to have chassis, frame, the whole, we have to. So that's the way it is. So we've got past the boring bits. We've broken the back of this. And now we should be moving on to build the actual car because it's impossible to go anywhere. There's nowhere else to go. We have to start building the car. So stick with it, man. Honestly, it's weird they've done this. I mean, it would have made more sense for them to go, here's a bit of frame, here's a bit more frame, and here's 2 wires. Because it just sort of spreads it out. It's a nicer kind of, but it is what it is, and that's where we are. But I mean, I hope and I wish that there's a lot more to do very early in next year's build, and there's nothing more powerful than a young boy's wish, except of course the Apache helicopter. The Apache helicopter has machine guns and missiles. It is an unbelievably impressive complement of weaponry, an absolute death machine. This is an Apache helicopter. So why am I quoting Ted when it comes to Apache helicopters? Well, Agora Models teased so long ago, I want to say nearly a year ago, rotor blades. Something's coming, and we never knew what it was. Then a couple more teasers went through the forums if you're in there. And it's now been unveiled that they are doing the Apache helicopter, the Apache longbow helicopter. I'm sure it'll be lovely. I won't be building it before you even ask. I typically don't build military vehicles. I just don't. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I am, of course, going to be building the Lancaster bomber, which completely contradicts what I've just said. But the Lancaster bomber for me is pop culture enough that I just need to be part of it. I think it's very British, and we do a lot of very American models, and that strikes me as something incredibly British, quintessentially British, and that was my appeal to it. The Dambuster's link. That's why it's an exception to the rule. But I wouldn't build, say, a Sherman tank. I wouldn't. It's just not for me. It's not. War machines are not my thing. They're just not. If you knew what I did for a living, that would make a lot more sense. Why I don't build these things, it would make a lot more sense. But yeah, but I'm sure it's going to be lovely. I'm sure it's going to be really nice. And when there's images and more details about it, we'll bring those to you. It's not going to be available to pre-order this side of Christmas. And I would imagine you're going to see that thing probably summer of next year. You're going to start seeing the Apaches. ET is due to start shipping next week, I believe. So people that have subbed to ET should be getting your ETs around about mid-December. Between the 10th and the 20th of December is when ETs are going to start landing on your doorsteps. I really want to build it. But I can. It's out of budget. I just can't do it. I'd like to, but I can't. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. But if I get a chance to build him, I'm building him. And it depends, because as I've mentioned before, I've heard they've made changes to the Lancaster bomber. How true that is or isn't, I don't know. But if, when Hachette finally unveil the finished version of the Lancaster bomber, it isn't something I want to do, if they've made too severe a change to it, I'm straight on ET. I'm straight on ET. That's what it's going to be. But I'm ridiculously close to just going, you know what, I'm building ET. And I don't think it'll take much of a nudge to get me there. So, yeah, it is what it is. The other thing we've done is, as I mentioned, the Disney Doll's house. I've tiled all the roof. It took forever, man. But I really enjoyed it. And it made me think, what have I got going on in my head? Because I shouldn't enjoy it. It's repetitive. It's gluing roof tiles to a roof. It looks really nice. Once it's done, it looks lovely. But I really enjoyed it. Like, scarily so, right? I'm sat here singing, Motown and disco classics as I'm sticking ceiling tiles to it. I stayed up, right? Swear to God. I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning on a school night. Because I was enjoying sticking the tiles on the roof so much. I was like, I'm really into this. And I just kept going. So it's been fun. A lot of people hate doing the tiles. And I thought I was going to. I was putting off doing it for a while because I thought, I do not want to sit there doing these tiles. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is like thinking, this is so weird. This is so weird. But I really got into the tiles. It was a lot of fun. It really was. I'm in the middle of building. Literally, I've stopped to film this. I'm in the middle right now of building the Fun Hole Saloon. It's gorgeous already. It's really nice. I've only got the... you know what? You can see anyway because it's going up soon. I'll show you where we are with it at the moment. Literally, that's all I've got. Right, I've got the bass. Now, the good thing about these is that the bass is so solid on these. I've got the bass and I've got piano. That's it. But, spoilers. It's coming soon. It'll be out tomorrow. So you'll get to see the full finished one of that. And they nail it. They're really nice. I like the models I do, and yeah, I'm a big fan. But they're so, yeah, I've fallen over these too much. I probably shouldn't. They're really nice. They always make me smile when they turn up, and they're so much fun to build, and they're a good sort of switch off for me. So when it comes to part works, I do focus a lot more when I'm doing them. I'm kind of focused on, I'm like, well, this is what I need to do, and I'm all in, and it's got my full attention. I'm conscious of the video and things like that. Whereas when I'm building not just Fun Hole Lego, if I'm ever building Lego for the kids or anything like that, I can just switch off. It's a thing where I go into autopilot, and it is incredibly stress relieving, massively so. Speaking of which, it is Men's Day on the 19th of Sunday. So it's international, not just national, international Men's Day. So I invite you all to do something very manly. I've decided that I'm going to London Zoo and I'm going to arm wrestle a gorilla, silverback gorilla. I'm not going for a small gorilla, but if you're going to do it right. So I'm going for a big silverback gorilla and I'm going to arm wrestle him with my shirt off. That's the plan. I'm joking, and that is part of what I've spoken about before about toxic masculinity. International Men's Day is not a day to go, yeah, we are men. You can if you want. I mean, totally, you can definitely do that. But it's more about, we got to look at what it is to be a man, and we are in a world at the moment where if you're a man that looks like me, you're the devil. So it's tough, right? I get it completely is. I'm not going to go into too much about this one. This is a very different vibe, but we are going to have some videos coming up about men's mental health. The reason why they haven't appeared on the channel yet is because I want to get Veterans Day and Remembrance Day out of the way first. I wanted to get those done and didn't want to step on that. We're here now, so we're going to start talking about mental health throughout November as well, particularly with men's mental health. Not just men. This isn't exclusive to us. Mental health in general. But also with men, because it is important we talk about it. And if people like me can talk and break the stigma, this guy's talking about it, maybe I can. It's okay to not be okay. But it's also important not to wallow. So, I mean, this is the thing as well. This certainly isn't about wallowing in it. This is about, acknowledge that there's something there, acknowledge that something's not right, but also acknowledge that that's okay. And also, maybe I need to talk about this. Maybe talking will get this off my chest, and that's what we're going to be doing. So there'll be a few one-on-ones with me. I'm also desperately trying to arrange a roundtable with a couple of friends of mine where we just talk about our own experiences, but these are people that also are into modeling and creatives. So I'm thinking that we can talk about kind of the impact that this has on our health. If it's a good thing, if it's a negative thing, what can help, what doesn't help. So you can see that as well. And I think, again, sometimes it helps rather than have one guy talking, see a bunch of guys talking and be like, okay, well then maybe I could talk with my buddies like this, you know? And that's kind of the plan. One of them is my good friend Daniel. So Dan, who runs a Facebook group that I'm part of, which is custom scale model figures and amazing. He's done something for us. I really wish I could show you, but it's all a big secret at the moment. But he's done something for us which is absolutely remarkable, and I can't wait to show you. They look so good. But I've got to wait. That's a Christmas thing. I literally can't show you until after Christmas. But when we do, you'll see Dan's work beautifully, and he has absolutely nailed it, exceeded our expectations. Dan is, for part of November, he is doing Movember, where he's growing the tash. I'm going to put a link down below. I know you don't know Dan, but if you want to support somebody and you can spare £1, that's all it would take to throw towards this. All the money's going to men's mental health. If you can throw £1 that way, brilliant. You don't have to, but if you can, it all helps, and it all goes towards men's mental health. And I'll dance at your wedding one day if you want, in exchange. But the link will be down below. So if you can sponsor Dan, the link's down below. If you would like to join our Scale Model Club, you can. And that's in the Facebook group. Facebook link will be in the group down below. Okay. I really want to tell you something, but I can't, right? And I know that's really annoying. What can I say? Nothing. I've got another book note coming up, right? So I've got another book note coming up very soon, and it's one that I've put off for so bloody long because we were so busy. But I teased it ages ago, I've got what's essentially a Sherlock Holmes book nook coming up, and it is gorgeous because it's a 2-floor book nook, which is nice. It's unusual. So it's almost 2 scenes inside one book nook, and it's got moving elements, which we've not done before. So it's got lights, but also the book nook itself has got some very clever movement to it. So that's going to be coming up on the channel. We also have so much Gauntlet because I haven't uploaded them. I completely forgot to do it. I've got 15 issues of the Gauntlet to upload, which is an overwhelming amount of Gauntlet, but that's what we've got. It's what we're going to be doing. So there's a lot of Gauntlet coming your way. They're very short though. I mean, that's the thing. So all the Gauntlet videos are short. We're looking at 5 to 10 minutes of Gauntlet videos, so it's not so bad. And the Gauntlet is huge now. I mean, it is ridiculous. And we're nowhere near completing it. But it is massive already. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. So I can't wait to show you all of that. And next year is going to be really interesting because, believe it or not, this time next year, the Gauntlet's finished. So because the Gauntlet is coming in 5s, it's rapid. The Gauntlet finishes in, I want to say the last week of November. So it's around about this time next year, we'll be done. The Gauntlet will be complete, and we'll have an enormous Gauntlet that the kid thinks he's going to fit on his head. Whether or not he is, I don't know. But that'll be interesting. That one's gone so quick. The Gauntlet seems to have gone ridiculously quick, whereas the Doll's House seems to have been going forever. But the Gauntlet seems like we barely started it, and now we're getting, we're 1 year away from finishing it. It's like, wow, that's insane. Titanic as well. It feels like I've been building Titanic for years. Titanic is... Yeah, it is. When Titanic is finished, Titanic will be the... Will it? No. I was going to say it will be the individual part where they have the most parts, but I want to say, yeah, no, it wasn't. Ecto 1 comes in at 142. Titanic comes in at 140, so it's not far off. But Ecto 1 still holds that crown. I still haven't finished Ecto 1. And it's time for me to put my big boy pants on and do that. It's one of those things, I don't know, I can't bring myself to do it. It's really weird, but it's that. And again, this is a little bit of mental health, but it's a really weird feeling when you finish one of these models. And if you've done this, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you finish one, it's done. That's over. It's finished. It's gone. And there's this weird kind of almost like mourning period where you're like, I miss it. I had it with Rootmaster really bad. When Rootmaster was finished, I missed it. I loved those huge packs of Rootmaster turning up each month from Agora. And when there was no more, I was kind of gutted. I was like, man, I miss it. And it sucks. And it's like, I'll miss Titanic. I'll miss Titanic a lot. I know I will, because doing all the research on the stories and things like that, and everybody I've been interacting with over Titanic, I will miss the hell out of that when it's gone. And this time next year, Titanic is finished. So Titanic finishes the last week of October 2024. So Titanic will be finished. The Gauntlet will be finished. The Doll's House will be finished next year, but not the extension. I am doing the extensions. But the actual Doll's House itself will be finished. So Titanic's finished, Doll's House finished, Gauntlet's finished. The only one I have that I'm currently doing that won't be finished at that point is the Tumbler. And even at that point, the Tumbler will be nearly 100 issues in, so we won't be far off finishing that one. Which means I've got this lovely empty slate that I can fill up with new models. And as I said, the only one that is a 100% at this point is the Lancaster Bomber. And even then, with the news that came out about the changes, that ain't 100% anymore. We got to wait and see what they've done to it. What have we been watching? The Walking Dead. So the kid wanted to watch The Walking Dead, and I thought, you know what, Wi-Fi it, he wants to watch it, we'll let him watch it. So we've gone back to season 1 of The Walking Dead, and my reaction was like, who the hell are these people? I watched all of it, right, but it's been that long since I watched season 1. I don't recognise half these people, and it's all these cast members. I'm like, don't remember you, don't remember you, don't remember you, but I'm like, I know what happens to you, otherwise I'd remember you. So it's tricky. I said to the kid, you can't ask me questions. So when he's asking me who's your favourite character, I'm like, I can't tell you. And he's like, well, it's like, well, because you'll know they live. Or you'll know, you know what I mean? I just can't. Because I don't want to spoil it for him. But it's, I enjoyed The Walking Dead, I did. I mean, it didn't have a great ending, but these shows never do they? I mean, they don't. These shows never have a great ending. And The Walking Dead didn't. The Walking Dead felt like a cop-out. It felt to me like, we really want to end this show, but we're all worried we won't find work elsewhere. So we're not really going to end it, even though we've ended it. That's what it felt like. And it kind of had a bit of that going on. So, but that's what we've been watching. What we're going to be watching is this Friday, Renfield starts on Sky Cinema. So we're going to watch Renfield this Friday. I'm looking forward to that. And then next Friday, will be the last weekend of November. It's crazy how fast that's gone, right? So next weekend, it'll be the last weekend of November, it'll be Black Friday weekend, Thanksgiving weekend as well. So there's a lot going on next week. But on Friday on Sky Cinema, Violent Night starts. Now, I watched Violent Night in January of this year, which probably should have watched it in December. It's a Christmas movie. But I absolutely loved it. It was essentially Die Hard, via Home Alone with a smattering of the Santa Claus thrown in. It's a remarkable movie. It's funny as hell. It's violent as hell. It's funny as hell. But it's got a feeling of an 80s action movie. So if you enjoyed your kind of 80s actioners, Violent Night definitely has that going on. We really, really enjoyed it. And we're going to talk a bit more about Violent Night because coming back in December will be Christmas movies for people who don't like Christmas movies. So if you're a viewer of the channel last year, subscribe to the channel last year, we did do a lot of content through December, and I'll be doing that again this year. The plan is there will be a new video every day through December. So if Christmas is getting you down, you want a bit of escapism, you can pop over and see old Scotty at Building with the Boys, and I'll have something uploaded for you. But we did Christmas movies, people don't like Christmas movies, which is exactly what it sounds like. These are Christmas movies, but they're not those god-awful Hallmark Christmas movies. Speaking of which, right, am I alone on this one? And this is a genuine question. So if you could pop this in the comments down below, if you got an answer to this, I'd love to know. Is it just me? Or is every single one of those Hallmark Christmas movies the same movie? They just change the actors, right? Because I swear to God, every single one of those movies, swear to you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Hallmark Channel, you'll see what I'm talking about. Every one of those movies involves typically a businesswoman that returns to a small hometown, hooks up with her old flame, and refines the spirit of Christmas. That is, honestly, 90% of those movies, that's what it is. If it isn't that, it's single mother goes back to her hometown and hooks up with the kid's teacher or something. I swear to God, every single one of these movies is exactly the bloody same. So they're saccharine, they're kind of, ugh. So we did Christmas movies, people don't like Christmas movies. It was horror films that were at Christmas. It was action movies that are at Christmas, thrillers that are at Christmas, comedies that are at Christmas that aren't necessarily Christmassy, because everyone's Christmas is wildly different. And we've got more of those. So we've got some more of those coming up. We're going to feature some big hitters this year. Last year we avoided all the sort of major ones, but this year we're going to go for it. We're going to do all of them. But it'll be fun. I once did, this is a true story, I once did the Christmas Carol Challenge, which was brutal. and it was watching 24 different versions of A Christmas Carol for every day of December. So I genuinely did this because a lot of people tap out really early. I thought, I've started, I'm finishing. So there's that many versions of A Christmas Carol. We watched 24 of them, started on the 1st of December all the way through. And it's like, wow. And it was a lot, but that's what I mean. So the market is kind of flooded with Christmas movies, but you can find some absolute gems in there. Last year, I can tell what we did. We did the original 1976 Black Christmas, which is one of the scariest films ever made. We did Krampus, which is a lot of fun. It's a horror movie, a monster movie, but it's a lot of fun. We did Fat Man, which is a Mel Gibson actioner where Mel Gibson plays Santa Claus, but it's an action movie. It's a lot of fun. And we did In Bruges, is one of my favourite films. It's a comedy that isn't about Christmas, but it's set at Christmas. And again, it's a hell of a movie. It really is. But we'll have more of that. As I said, this will be a Christmas-free zone, so you aren't going to get me in a Santa hat or anything like that until the 1st of December. That's not because I hate Christmas. I love Christmas. But I get it when it's like, the last week of September and already the Christmas stuff is everywhere. So it's a Christmas-free zone until the 1st of December. After the 1st of December, I swear to God, I'm going to make this place like a grotto. So brace yourself for that one. That's about all from me. If you've got any questions, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com with any questions you have, any questions, queries, anything. I'd like to hear what your plans are for Men's Day. So if you've got plans for Men's Day, if anything at all, if you are struggling with your mental health, you can contact me at buildingtheboys@outlook.com and I will talk to you. I will happily talk to you. Don't suffer in silence, man. You got to talk. You have to. We will have more coming up, including the men's mental health talks, along with all of the modelling stuff that we normally do. I will have the Fun Hole Saloon, the Cowboy Saloon, which is looking really nice, hopefully tomorrow. But I would like to go to bed at some point, so hopefully tomorrow. I was going to say I'm going to finish Ecto 1, but I can't promise you that. We will have the remaining 2 Disney Dolls House videos going up. We will have some Infinity Gauntlet going up along the Batmobile tumbler. That genuinely is all from me. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And please remember, if you haven't yet, to like and subscribe. Helps the channel massively. And we just appreciate all your appreciation. Before I forget, thank you. We crossed a massive milestone this week. Completely forgot. We hit 500,000 views, which is ridiculous. Because to be honest with you, when we started, I was like, if we get 50 views, I'll be amazed. So 500,000 is absolutely incredible. I know there are people out there that can post one video and get that, but that's not us. But so 500,000 for us is absolutely gargantuan in a relatively short period of time as well. So thank you for all of you that support our channel from the beginning, or any part you joined our journey. The fact that you tune in to watch me, rambling on is very humbling, and all your support, because I get a lot of support through social media. I get it through comments on here. I get it through emails as well. And I love hearing your stories. I love talking with all of you, and thank you, all of you. You are what make this channel. Without you, there's no channel. There's just a guy in a room talking to himself. So without you, there is no channel. So thank you. I'm trying to make this channel for you as much as I can, not just for me. It is for me. It helps a lot, but I'm trying to make it for you as much as possible. I'm trying to offer as positive and friendly and welcoming a space as I can, and I hope I'm doing that. As I said, contact me at Building the Boys with anything you want to ask, anything you want to share. We're always happy to put it on the channel. I am building up still. I've got a lot of pictures now of your work. It will be appearing on the channel, so don't worry if you submit something. I still haven't seen it yet. I promise you will. December. I need to fill a whole month. You're definitely going to see them. But that is all for me. Once more, with feeling. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I will see you very, very soon for more from Building the Boys. Thank you for stopping by. I will catch you next time.